Welcome to The Explainer. All right, let's talk about a phrase you have probably heard a million times: digital transformation. It's everywhere, right? In every corporate meeting, all over our news feeds. But what does it actually mean? Is it just, a fancy term for buying new laptops for the office? Or is something way, way bigger going on here? Something that's literally changing our world? Let's dive in. And this quote, it really sets the stage perfectly. We're not talking about small tweaks, like upgrading some software or finally going paperless. No. The sources we're looking at today see this as a genuine, massive turning point in human history, one that demands that all of us kind of have to relearn how we do things and adapt. So to really get our heads around just how huge this is, it actually helps to take a quick trip back in time to another moment when a new technology came along and completely flipped the world on its head. Okay, so our sources make this brilliant comparison. They say we should think about our digital era just like the dawn of electricity. Imagine it. Back then, most businesses were sticking with their old school water wheels and steam engines, slow to change. But the few that jumped on electricity, man, they just left everyone else in the dust. And what's wild is, we're seeing the same thing today, but in reverse. This time, it's us, the consumers with our smartphones, who are the early adopters. And now the big challenge is for businesses to catch up. And really, this gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? We're not just swapping an old tool for a new one. We are operating in a completely new environment. It's a digital landscape now. And if you want to survive, let alone thrive, you have to learn a whole new way of thinking. But let's be real for a second. The business world loves a good buzzword, right? Every few years, some new concept pops up that promises to be the magic bullet for everything. So the big question is digital transformation just the latest trend? Here today, gone tomorrow? I mean, we've all seen this movie before, haven't we? Remember the hype around re-engineering or total quality management? Each one was pitched as the next big thing, the one-size-fits-all answer to every single business problem out there. So, should we just go ahead and add digital transformation to this list of once hyped, now kind of faded ideas? Is this just another case of big promises with little follow-through? Well, the sources we dug into have a very clear answer on that. And that answer is a resounding no, 1,000 times no. This, they argue, is something completely different. And here's the crucial difference. A lot of those past fads were really about efficiency, doing the same old things just a little bit better, a little faster. But digital transformation? This is about a fundamental evolution. It's like taking a traditional company and rebuilding it from the ground up, giving it the same DNA as a company that was born and raised on the internet. Okay, so if this isn't just another marketing buzzword, if it's really this fundamental, where did it even come from? Well, it turns out the whole concept is rooted in a formal academic discipline that's actually been around for decades. The answer is in a field called information systems. Now, this term is a little tricky because it has two important meanings. On the one hand, yeah, it's the actual tech itself, the software, the hardware, all that stuff. But on the other hand, it's the academic field that actually studies how all that technology impacts businesses and, well, all of us. And what's so fascinating here is that information systems isn't just about code and computers. It's this incredible mix of fields, pulling from computer science and engineering, sure, but also psychology, economics, management, the whole shebang. And it's that blend of the hard tech and the human science that makes digital transformation so complex and also so incredibly powerful. But here's the catch. Despite having this really rich academic field studying the topic, our sources identify a central challenge. A major disconnect has appeared. It's like a tale of two worlds that are supposed to be working together, but they're not even speaking the same language. Our sources point out this is a huge problem. There's an external disconnect between the academics who study these systems and the business leaders who actually implement them. But then there's also an internal disconnect, even within the world of academia. This fractured landscape is maybe the single biggest barrier to making real progress. And you can really see this disconnect clearly when you look at what each side is focused on. The business leaders, the practitioners on the front lines, they're thinking about big picture stuff. Strategy, beating the competition, how to use data to win. Meanwhile, the researchers are often focused on more specific, sometimes very theoretical topics. Both are valuable, don't get me wrong, but they're absolutely operating on different wavelengths. This quote just sums it up perfectly. The solution isn't just to throw more coders or more software at the problem. The real key is a new focus. It's about applying all this amazing technology to solve actual business problems and meet the strategic goals that an organization has. So, where does that leave us? What's the path forward?
And more importantly, how do we fix this? How do we bridge this great divide between the world of theory and the world of practice to finally unlock the true power of this transformation?
Well, the sources actually outline a pretty clear four-step path to get there. First, everybody involved has to just admit how complex this stuff really is. Second, they have to build a common language so they can actually understand each other. Third, the focus always has to be on solving real-world business problems. And finally, everyone needs to commit to constantly learning and adapting.
Because ultimately, this is what it all boils down to. If digital transformation is ever going to live up to its promise, we have to close this gap. The full power of this digital era won't be unlocked by tech experts or by business strategists working in their own separate corners. It will only be realized when those two worlds come together to build something new. So we've seen the problem, and we understand this deep divide between theory and practice. The stakes are incredibly high, which leaves us with one final essential question to think about. Who is going to be the one to step up and build that bridge?